Welcome to Narc Abuse No More, where we are here to help educate you about narcissistic abuse, because your feelings do matter. Hi, welcome to another broadcast of Narc Abuse No More with your host, Evangelist K.L. Rich. Thanks for tuning in today. Today is Tuesday, March the 16th of 2021. I pray that you had a blessed, stress-free, narcissistic-free, abuse-free week so far, and that the remainder of this week will continue to be so as well. But if not, we are going to be talking about some things today. Again, my name is Evangelist K.O. Rich with Narc Abuse No More, where we're here to help you admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse, because your feelings do matter. Yes, they do. But before we go on with today's broadcast, I would like to invite you to visit us on our website at www.narcabusenomore.org. Again, that website address is www.narcabusenomore.org, and on our website you'll find valuable information regarding narcissism, regarding relationships. Also, we are on every Tuesday and every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Play, as well as on iTunes and Deezer. All right, what are we talking about today? We are talking about the characteristics of a date rapist, or a rapist, period. The characteristics of a rapist. Now, let me just say something before we get started. We know that narcissists love to have power. Narcissists love to have control. And this is what anyone who abuses someone else is normally about: the power and control. But you know what the thing is that we do not want to give them that power and that control over anyone. And we want you to know that help is available if you need to talk to someone. Most people, and I want to give you the Rape Crisis Center website, is you can go to rapecrisis.com, rapecrisis.com, and they are there to help you or anyone that you know has been affected by rape. And I want to just give you a few statistics before we go into the in depth about this. Every 98 seconds, another American is sexually assaulted. That's just within the United States. Every 98 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted. 1 out of every 6 American women have been the victim of an attempted or completed rape in her lifetime. 1 out of every 6 American women. 1 out of every 33 American men have been the victim of an attempted or completed rape in his lifetime. A majority of child victims are between the ages of 12 to 20. Between the ages of 12 to 17. Now, where do assaults normally occur? 55% at or near the victim's home, 15% in an open public space, 12% at or near a relative's home, and it goes on. These are some alarming statistics, and no one should ever have to experience rape. If you say no, no means no. Let me repeat that. If you say no, no means no. So if you have been the victim of or know someone who has, please try to get them to go get help. Report it to your local authorities. Report it to someone that you trust that will help you to be able to walk through the steps of reporting this, getting that person hopefully locked up, bringing awareness to the situation so that person will not do it to someone else. More than likely, you may not have been the first victim, but you can surely be the last if you go forth in reporting the rape that took place. All right, so there's a website called Merakoh.com, Merakoh.com, and these are some characteristics that they listed for that of a date rapist, and some of these fit just any type of rapist, and you always want to be aware of the people you're around, be aware of your surroundings. Let me just say this, especially if you're doing some dating apps online, you definitely need to be aware of who you're going to meet, and sometimes you have to be even careful with people you know, because a lot of times the people that you know are the ones that do you harm. Yes, many people have been raped by someone they knew, someone they trusted. Ladies, you may not want to entertain men in your home alone. If you are a single person and you want to date, it's best to go outside the house and date, but do not bring the person in your home. Be careful when you're getting in cars. Sometime in this particular situation, the person that authored these characteristics that I'm going to list, this person had drove them to a open parking lot and raped them. And this person was supposed to be studying to be a pastor, believe it or not. So I'm going to give you the characteristics that they have listed here, because you can take this and always pay attention to your instincts, your God-given instincts. If something does not feel right, then it's best to back out. Do not go along to get along. Even if they're putting pressure on you, back out. Okay, number 1. Displays anger or aggression, either physically or verbally. This is something that you really need to pay attention to. No matter how much they smile, no matter how much they try to be nice, if they have anger issues and you're picking up little things about them having some anger issues, you need to back out. And this is any relationship. Anytime you're seeing this person have bouts of anger or aggression, even if they're on the road and they have road rage, these are warning signs, okay? Many times people ignore the yellow lights that are flashing all around them that's saying warning, warning, warning. Pay attention to the signs. If you are going out and you're meeting someone for the first time, or even if you think you know this person and they are showing you signs of anger or aggression, physically or verbally, because you also have to pay attention to the words they say. Pay attention. Then you need to be careful of that person. Number 2. Displays a short temper, slaps, or twists arms. If someone touches you in an unwelcoming way, that is a sign that this person has the potential to be a rapist or just an abuser. If they are touching you when they're upset, they slap you, they twist your arm, they pinch you, doing something physical to you, even grabbing your thigh real tight, that means that person has some anger issues. There's a movie with Julia Roberts that she played in years ago called Sleeping with the Enemy. And I guess her husband had OCD or whatever, but he was very abusive. And if you are in a situation like that, you need to watch that movie. It's called Sleeping with the Enemy. You could probably catch it free online somewhere or rent it for real cheap. But it's Sleeping with the Enemy, and that's with Julia Roberts, and it's about domestic violence. Be careful. Because don't think that, oh, well, they just love me. Oh, well, they weren't really thinking. Oh, well, it was just a one-time event. If they can do it once, they will do it twice, and they will definitely keep it up. Number 3, acts excessively jealous and or possessive. This is not something that's cute. This is not something that's showing love. Love is not about jealousy. Love is not about taking possession of you as if you're an inanimate object. You are an individual with an individual mind that has needs, wants, desires that are unique to you. That does not give anyone the right to be jealous or possessive. If he or she wants to know how, when, where, and all these things, they're not married to you. And even if they're married to you, there's a certain amount of respect that still goes in the relationship. Now, if you're single, you're not to act as if you're single when you're married. However, in a healthy relationship, there is still mutual respect. There is still a sense of I'm respectful of you. I'm mindful of you. I'm thoughtful of you. I consider you. Sometimes you need your space, and that person will respect that. Number 4, ignores your space boundaries by coming too close or placing his or her hand on your thigh, etc. If you're on a first date and this person is already touchy-feeling and you're not comfortable with that, then you need to tell them to back off, no, and let that be your last date. Do not allow someone to invade your space when it is not what you want. You have the right to say no. You have the right to tell them to back up. You have the right to have your space respected. All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in just a moment.
Out of the shadows, bound for the gallows, a dead man walking, till love came calling. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. 6 feet under, I thought it was over, and answered a prayer, the voice of a savior. Rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. All it was, I came alive. This beating heart, these open eyes, the
Lauren Daigle. All right. So, we're going back to that list of characteristics of a rapist. Number 5, ignores your wishes. One thing that narcissists, and in particular we're talking about rapists here, one thing that they do not want to do is acknowledge that you have your own mind, because everything is about them and their control. So they would ignore your wishes. If you say you're not comfortable with something, if you're saying no to something, they don't care what you're saying. It's all about that power and that control. And that's why you have to be animate with saying no, but sometimes they don't even take that for them to back up, and they will try to proceed with whatever it is that they're wishing to do. Number 6, attempts to make you feel guilty or accuses you of being uptight. If you're out with someone and you don't feel if they're trying to grab your hand or put their arms around you, being too touchy-feely, you're not comfortable with that, they'll accuse you, oh, well, why are you so tight? Oh, you need to loosen up. No, you have the right to tell someone, no, I don't want your hands on me. No, back up. No, leave me alone. I'm uncomfortable in this situation, and they are supposed to respect your right to say no. Number 7, becomes hostile and are increasingly more aggressive when you say no. Again, a narcissist does not want you to tell them no. In the case of a rapist, they do not want to hear the word no. For them, they feel like no is an open invitation for them to take what they want, because it's about the power, it's about the control, and it's about them getting what they want. It's not even about the sex. It is about them being able to control you. Number 8, acts particularly friendly at a party or bar and tries to separate you from your friends. One thing that abusers love to do is to isolate you. They want to get you away from people who can actually pinpoint what they are, who they are. They don't want anyone to be able to open your eyes to the fact of them being an abuser. So they will try to get you away from those who may be looking out for your best interest. Why? So they can get you alone to do what they want you to do. In this case, this is about rape. They want to isolate you because there's things that they would do in private they would not do in public in front of witnesses or anyone else. Number 9, insist on being alone with you on a first date. Now, we're living in some dangerous times right now, and the best place to have a first date is in the public, where there are plenty of people around, not inviting them to your home, not in seclusion or anything like that. And if they have a problem with going out maybe on a group date first or in a very public area, then something may be wrong. So if they're insisting on being alone with you on a first date, that might be a sign to say, warning, what are your intentions after all? Number 10, demands your attention and compliance at inappropriate times. One thing about narcissists is that they want to stay in control, and they don't care where that control takes place. Now, when you're talking about rapists, they want to make sure that they can control you at all times. They want your attention. They want you to comply with them. So if you're in church, they're expecting you to text them back. If you're in class, they're expecting you to pick up the phone when they call, regardless of what you're doing. It's always about what they want, when they want, how they want, and that is a warning sign to say something is wrong with this particular individual that I do not need to be in a relationship with. Number 11, acts immaturely, shows little empathy or feeling for others, and displays little social conscience. Now, these type of people, they don't want anyone to set rules or guidelines. They feel like rules are for thee, but not for me. They do not feel for other people. They do not take other people in consideration. They do not have respect for others, and therefore they do not have that social conscience to say that, hey, my actions can cause a reaction that's negatively when it comes to everyone else. So they don't take that into consideration. Most importantly, they should understand your feelings, but they don't, because it's not about your feelings. It's about them satisfying that need that they have within them. Number 12. Ask personal questions and is interested in knowing more about you than you want to tell them. That when you're out on the first date, especially on the first date, you may talk about some things to help that person to get to know you, but you're not going to tell every little intimate detail about who you are. That takes time. That takes the relationship to build trust. But when you're dealing with someone that's a possible rapist, they want to know certain things about you. Basically, what they're trying to do is screen to see what they can get by with and who would be around to stop them if they try to go further in their diabolical plans. So they want to know, do you have children? Do you have friends? Do you have a roommate? Do you have someone that's around? Do you have someone that may be in law enforcement that you can report some things to? They want to know certain details about you. Again, it's to take inventory as to what I can get away with, how I can get away with it, if I should even try, and if I do it, what's the consequences that this person, the repercussions that may come about after I do what I'm doing or plan to do. Number 13, subscribes excessively to traditional male and female stereotypes. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, basically, when you're dealing with someone that's all about control, they want to make sure that they put you in certain roles that they feel has the best likelihood to bring out the ability to control you. So therefore, they may want you to, they may say things like, well, I believe a woman should stay at home, never go anywhere without her husband's permission. Okay, we're using something excessively, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure that they're able to control who you're around, what your surroundings are, the likelihood of you being able to tell anyone should they abuse you. So this is them operating in that domineering gender stereotype. Now, this is not to say if you choose to stay at home, you might say, well, when I get married, I want to be work from home, I want to be a housewife or whatever. That's fine if that's what you decide to do. But be careful when you're dealing with certain people that in the initial onset, they're already trying to demand that you have certain roles so that they can control and dominate those particular roles when you're not even connected to them in that particular manner. All right, so one thing that some psychologists have done is they've actually talked to rapists, those who had actually gone to prison for rape, and they interviewed them to see what was the signs and what was the interesting facts that they found in a person before deciding to go and rape them. So they basically did a interview to find out what made them go after a particular individual. And you will find some interesting things that they shared that they thought was a welcome mat for them to go after a particular person. Now, this is not to blame any victim, but in order to know the enemy, you must know what they're thinking, what they're about. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what these rapists, actual rapists now, what they had to say as to why they went after their particular victims.
must understand, the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do? Got to do with it. What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? It may seem to you that I'm acting confused when you're close to me. If I tend to look dazed, I read it someplace. I've got cause to be. There's a name for it. There's a phrase that fits. But whatever the reason, you do it for me. Oh, what's love got to do? It's got to do with it. What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? I've been taking on a new direction, but I have to say, I've been thinking about my own protection. It scares me to feel this way. Oh, what's love got to do? It's got to do with it. What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? What's love got to do? Got to do with it. What's love but a sweet old-fashioned notion? What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Got to do with it. What's love? Second-hand emotion. What's love got to do? Got to do with it. Who needs a heart when a heart can
What's Love Got to Do with It? And that is by Tina Turner. What's Love Got to Do with It? For those of you who know her story, she went through some abuse in her earlier years when she was married to Ike Turner. And she came out on top later and wrote the song, What Love Got to Do with It? All right, so the first thing men look for in a potential victim, one of them said, is hairstyle. They are likely to go after a person with a ponytail or other hairstyle that can easily be grabbed. So this is not to say, ladies, that you don't wear ponytails, but just be careful when, especially when you're going out with someone that you have not known for or you don't know. And let me just say this: most rapes take place with people that you do know, and so you just have to use your God-given instincts when it comes to even certain people that you go out with. But they look for the ability to be able to grab your hair to take control of you. So this is what some of the rapists have said, was that they look for the hairstyle where they can easily grab that person. Women with short hair are not as common targets of abuse, according to the ones that were surveyed here. Number 2. The second thing men look for is clothing. They look for clothing that is easily and quickly able to be removed. And some of them carry scissors around so they can cut it. So these people that were surveyed, these men that were surveyed, they were planning these rapes. Okay, do you remember the Ted Bundys? And I'm not sure if Ted Bundy, I think he raped his victims. I have to go back over that. But those that were serial rapists, they actually planned these rapes. All right, so some of them carry scissors around, so they look for are your clothes easily able to be removed. Number 3, they also look for women on their mobile phone, searching through their phone or doing something where they're not paying attention. One thing you never want to do is, if you're outside, especially at night, do not be going through your purse while you're on your way to your vehicle. Have your keys ready, set to go. Do not be searching for your keys while you're walking in maybe a half-lit garage, or if you are at a parking space, or you want to make sure that you are ready, set to go. Number 4, the time of day. They say most rapes happen between 5 and 8:30 a.m. in the morning. If you are a person that likes to go jogging, be careful of your surroundings. You may not want to jog without having some type of German Shepherd or some kind of protective dog with you, some mace, some flashlights, maybe wear a head flashlight or something of protection. Do not go in the woods jogging by yourself. Do not go down some dark alley. Do not go down a dark street. Be careful, because people, if you have a routine that you follow, most of the time rapists are watching your routine. They trying to make sure that they have you set in stone where they'll know where you going, when you're going, how you do going, what's your likelihood of changing routes, how many people are around. They're surveying all these things. So be very, very careful. Number 5. They look for the thing about these men is that they are looking to grab a woman quickly and move her to a second location where they don't have to worry about being caught. If someone grabs you, scream with all your might, bite, whatever you need to do. Try your best not to allow them to take you to another location. Even if they have a gun pointed at you, make them have to shoot you there. See, most of the time, they're not going to do that. They think that when they take out that weapon, that's going to make you get into the car or the van, because they fear, they're probably thinking that you're fearing for your life. So, I'm going to point this gun at her or him, and they're going to get into the vehicle. And this has been known. Make them have to shoot you on the spot, because once you leave the location where you're at, see, that's your safety, your safest spot is where they find you at. And if you allow them to take you to another location, you may not make it back. So make sure that if they catch you off guard and they put a weapon at you, you may have some difficult choices to make right then on the spot. But if they take you to another location, the chances of you coming out of it alive is slim. So you may not want to allow them to take you to another location. Your chances of getting out of it right where you're at is better than if you get into the vehicle with them, even if they got a gun pointed at you. If you get into the vehicle with them, see, they want to take you somewhere so they can do what they want to do without being seen. They don't want to get caught, but they want to make sure they take you somewhere else. Make them have to do whatever they're trying to do right there on the spot. And more than likely, your chances of survival may be better. Number 6, only 2% said they carried weapons, because rape carries a 3 to 5 year sentence, but rape with a weapon is 15 to 20. Now, you have some that have a knife, or they may pretend to have a weapon, but in this case, some said that and this is crazy because you're thinking, why would you even want to go to prison anyway? But some of them had thought this out. Well, if I get busted, then at least my time is less if I don't do a sexual assault or rape with a deadly weapon. The logic of criminals is crazy, okay? But this is what is going on here, and it's sad. So again, your chances, even if you feel something pressed against you and they say, I got a gun, likelihood they may not. And even if they do, hey, your chances of survival is better with not going along or going away with them than you would if you did. Number 7, if you put up any kind of fight at all, they get discouraged because it only takes a minute or two for them to realize that going after you isn't worth it. They don't want you to struggle. They don't want you to fight. They might say, I'm going to kill you if you put up a fight or whatever. The best thing you can do is to put up a fight, scream, bite, do whatever you need to do to get out of that situation alive. They don't want to bring attention to themselves while you're screaming and while you're yelling and while you're trying to get away. They want an easy target, an easy victim where they can get what they want, do what they want to do, and then get out. Again, it's about power and control. So when you're fighting and you're screaming and you're trying to get away from them, that's making them lose the power that they would otherwise want to have over you. Number 8. These men said they would not pick a woman who have an umbrella or other similar objects that can be used from a distance in their hands. They do not want someone who has something that can actually help to fight them. Now, keys, they're not threatened by keys, but if they see something in your hand that makes them, that can possibly challenge them, they're more likely to leave you alone. So if you have any type of a long flashlight, they can, what's like those police flashlights, if you have an umbrella, if you have something in your hand, a stick, something in your hand that can fight them, they're less likely to mess with you because they don't want to take the time to have to struggle with you. They want something quick and they're easy, that's in a hurry where they can easily get by with it. Number 9, several defense mechanisms he taught us which they were in the class, they were getting taught, is if someone is behind you on a street or in a garage or with you in a lift or stairwell, look them in the face and ask them a question. Okay, what they're saying right here is if someone is following you, you feel someone is following you, then turn around and face them. Because one thing that an attacker or rapist does not want to do is face their accuser where they can actually be recognized. They're wanting to do something where you won't recognize them because if you get away, you'll be able to finger them or point them out in a police lineup. So they say turn around, and if they catch them off guard, ask them a question, and they're more likely to go in the opposite direction because their face have been shown and they don't want you to be able to identify who they are. We know that people with dark intentions love to do things in the dark. All right, so that takes that puts the light on them when you turn around and face them. If you hear somebody following you, turn around to see who they are. More than likely, they're gonna freeze up, stop in their tracks, and they're probably gonna go in the opposite direction. Number 10. If someone is coming toward you, hold out your hand in front of you and yell, stop, stay back. Most of the rapists said that they would leave a woman alone if she yelled or showed that she would not be afraid to fight back. Again, they are looking for an easy target. They want someone where they'll have minimal resistance. So you want to show that, hey, I will fight to the death on this. You will not just take what you want to get what you want. I will fight back. And more than likely, they will be discouraged. Now, this is not a one-size-fits-all, but these, what I just gave you here, these 10 tips was from actual rapists who told what would have discouraged them from attacking someone. Why did they choose certain victims? And so this is the list that, a general list that the psychologists had come up with based upon the questions that they asked actual rapists. If you want to know your enemy, you get to know them by asking them questions. And therefore, this is how they came up with this list to give to women and men to deter them from being victims of rape. Let me just say this. If you're listening to this broadcast and you have some teenagers, you need to let them listen to this. They need to know, because so many teenagers are victims of rape, sexual assault, abuse in college, in the campus, in their dorm rooms. They need to know what to look out for. Sometimes teenagers are in abusive situations and they don't tell their parents. Their peers may know something about it, but a lot of times they don't tell their parents that, oh, the boy that I'm dating is abusing me, or that girl I'm dating, she's being abusive to me. They don't say anything, and so they wind up being in harmful situations early on. They need to know that it's okay to say no. They need to know, young men, that when a woman says no, it means no. Young ladies, the same with you. If a male says no, then hey, no means no. It doesn't mean that I can take what I want when I want. Everyone has the right to be the guardian over their own body, and it doesn't belong to anyone else that's trying to take advantage of you. No means no. Be careful. Know the signs. Know the warning signs. Try not to open the door if you can to certain situations. But even if someone take advantage of that, make sure that you report it. Make sure that they do not get away with it, because if they did it once, they would do it again, and you do not want anyone else to be victimized by that person who may have done it or attempted to do it to you. All right, we are up out of here. I pray that today's broadcast has been a blessing to you and to someone else. And again, if you or someone else has been victimized by someone sexually assaulting them, please report it. Go to the police. Get the help that you need. Also get counseling and therapy if you are or have been the victim of a rape or sexual assault. Get help. The help is there. You don't have to suffer alone. It is not your fault. Don't blame yourself. But we want to always be, as best as we can, proactive and not reactive, as best as we can. We can't control every situation. Some things are out of your hands, but as best as we can be proactive, then we want to do so. All right. We are up out of here, and I look forward to seeing you again, where we're here to help you admit what you feel in order to heal from the effects of narcissistic abuse, because your feelings do matter. Until next time.